Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the English Talk with Luna podcast, your favorite spot for practicing English through authentic, real-world talk. I'm Luna.
And I'm Kai. We're thrilled to have you with us again.
To be honest, Kai, I'm feeling slightly anxious today.
Anxious already? But we've only just started. What's the reason?
It's actually you. You're the one who proposed this idea. Kai, just try to envision this. A whole day without touching your smartphone.
Ah, yes. Today's beautiful nightmare, as I like to call it.
Exactly. 24 full hours. No device, no texting, no endless scrolling, no glancing at the time every 2 minutes. So when you hear that plan, how does it feel in your body? Do you feel peaceful, or is your mind shouting, "No, please, anything but that"?
Honestly, I felt a twitch in my thumb the moment I heard the concept. Because let's face it, for many of us, the phone is far more than just a tool now.
You're right. It's our alarm, our planner, our camera, our jukebox, our navigator, our news source, our arcade. It's basically our entire world.
And don't forget, it's our escape. Yes, especially our escape.
Think about your typical morning. How many times do you reach for your phone before midday? Be truthful. 10 times? 20? Maybe 50?
Sometimes we tell ourselves, I'll just check one quick thing. But somehow that one thing stretches into 15 minutes or even nearly an hour.
And it isn't just students. This is happening in countless households. Right. Dad returns home, drops his keys, sits on the couch, and boom, the phone is in his hand. The kids are all excited, they want to talk about their school day or show a drawing they made, but Dad is stuck in scroll mode.
Or mom is in scroll mode, or both of them are. 4 people in one living room, 4 different screens, and 4 completely different worlds. Maybe you recognize this in your own home, or perhaps you are that person on the sofa.
And if that's you, don't feel guilty. You're only human. We all do it, myself included. But today, we want to pose a simple, fun, yet slightly intimidating question. What would actually happen if you spent one day without your phone?
Would the day feel boring? Would it be serene? Would you feel totally lost? Or perhaps more alive?
Or would you suddenly find yourself chatting with neighbors in the elevator because you have nothing to stare at? Would you finally notice the sky instead of the screen? Would you lose track of time so much that you eat lunch at 4 p.m.?
In this episode, we want to walk through that experience, a no-phone day, from morning to evening. All the awkward moments, all the peaceful moments, all the, oh no, I usually rely on my phone for this moments.
We want you to visualize this day with us. Don't think of it as a strict rule or a harsh challenge, just a soft image in your mind. We isn't here to scream that phones are evil. Phones are incredibly helpful tools.
Of course we love our phones too. We just want to explore what happens when we set them aside, just for one day.
And don't stress about the English level. This is a B1 episode, so it's perfect for intermediate learners. Even if you're A2, you can still follow along. If some parts feel a bit rapid, don't worry. You can listen again later. Your brain will grasp more each time.
You don't need to understand every single word. Just stick with us. Feel the story. Build the pictures in your mind. And if you enjoy learning this way with genuine talk and real emotions, please subscribe to the English Leap podcast and hit like on this episode. It really helps other students find our show.
And in the comments, let us know, would you ever attempt a no-phone day? A simple yes or no is totally fine. Or you can write a sentence about how you imagine it would feel. Be honest. If your answer is, no way, I'm too attached to my phone, write that down. We get it.
Okay, so imagine this. You go to bed and you decide, tomorrow I'm living one day without my phone. You plug it in, place it far away from your bed, and close your eyes. Then the next morning arrives. No device in your hand, no screen light in your face. Just you, your thoughts, and the day ahead. What happens next?
All right, let's start with the morning. That's usually where the trouble begins for me.
Oh, really?
What does your typical morning look like when you have your phone?
Usually, the moment my eyes open, my hand moves automatically. I don't even say good morning to myself before I grab the phone and start scrolling.
I'm the same. I used to be a little obsessed with checking my notifications the second I woke up.
Obsessed. That means your brain simply cannot stop thinking about something, right?
Exactly. My first thought wasn't, how do I feel, but who messaged me? What's new on social media? Maybe you recognize this too. Before a glass of water, before breakfast, before anything else, it's phone time. On a no-phone day, that moment feels quite strange and a bit painful.
Yeah? What happened in your case?
My eyes opened, my hand reached for the nightstand, and then nothing. No phone. Just empty air.
Your hand was reaching for the ghost of your phone.
Precisely. My brain was like, excuse me, where is our screen? And you couldn't check the time either, right?
Right. Usually I exaggerate and say, I checked my phone 1,000 times before breakfast.
Exaggerate means you make something sound much bigger than the reality just to emphasize the feeling, right?
Yes, it isn't literally 1,000 times, but it feels that way. On this day, I actually had to get out of bed to look at a real clock on the wall.
Wow, that's old school. An actual clock.
I felt like I traveled back to 1999. Maybe you have a clock in your house that you never look at because your phone does everything. On a no-phone day, that clock suddenly becomes your best friend.
So, once you survived those first few minutes, what was the rest of the morning like?
It was bizarre. Normally, I sit on the edge of the bed and scroll for 15 minutes. On this day, my hands were free, but my brain was restless.
Yeah? What was your brain telling you?
It was like, come on, just one quick check, just one tiny video. The classic just one excuse. So without the device, the quietness felt very intense for a few minutes.
Intense, meaning very strong and heavy, not light or soft, right?
Exactly. The silence was almost deafening. I could hear the birds, the traffic outside, even my own breathing. It was almost overwhelming.
I felt something similar. I went to the kitchen to fix some coffee without a phone in my hand. Usually, I scroll while waiting for the water to boil.
Let me guess, you usually know more about what other people are eating for breakfast than your own.
That is so true. On this day, I actually just watched the water boil, and I realized I felt a bit vulnerable.
Vulnerable, like being open and easy to hurt. Your emotions are right there on the surface.
Yeah, I could actually feel my own thoughts, my worries, and my fatigue. I didn't have a small screen to hide behind. Maybe you feel this too as you listen. When the phone is gone, your mind suddenly has a lot of space, and that space can feel a bit scary, but also very honest.
And for many of our listeners, the next big challenge would be stepping outside without a phone. How was that experience for you?
Oh man, leaving the house without a phone felt like walking out without my shoes on.
You felt like a part of you was missing, right?
Exactly. I kept tapping my empty pocket. My brain kept asking, are you sure about this? Are you really going out like this? Maybe you do the same when you leave home. You check your pockets. Phone, keys, wallet. On a no-phone day, that habit feels very weird.
For me, the elevator was the toughest part. Normally, I stare at my phone so I don't feel awkward.
Ah, the elevator escape screen.
On this day, I had no escape. I just stood there with my own face and my own thoughts. I stared at the floor numbers, the walls, and my own shoes.
Did you strike up a conversation with anyone?
Not this time, but I did smile at a neighbor, and they smiled back. It was a small moment, but it felt genuine.
Nice. I had a similar moment at the bus stop. Usually, I'm obsessed with my social media feed there. On my no-phone day, I just observed people. A child playing with a stone, an elderly man reading a physical newspaper. I started to realize there's a whole world existing outside that little rectangle.
And you were actually a part of it, not just observing it through a lens.
Exactly. Let's talk about work or study time. That part really caught me by surprise.
Oh yeah? In what way?
Normally, I'll work for 5 minutes and then my brain says, let's just check the phone quickly. It'll only take a second.
The famous just a second. We all know that second is a complete liar.
True. That second inevitably turns into 10 minutes and my concentration is shattered. But on a no-phone day, that distraction wasn't an option. At first, my brain kept reaching for it, but after a while, my mind started to settle. I could actually stay focused on one task for a much longer time.
I think our listeners will feel that too. Without that constant urge to check your phone, your attention slowly returns to what's right in front of you.
Yeah, hearing this made me realize that my phone habit was really getting in my own way.
To get in your own way means you are the one sabotaging yourself with your own habits, not anyone else, right?
Yes, I was blaming my stress levels and lack of time, but actually it was my own scrolling that was blocking me.
And that's actually encouraging, because if your own habit is what gets in your own way, you are also the one with the power to change it.
Exactly. You aren't stuck this way forever.
That's true. Now let's move to home time, because this is where many families really feel the impact of phones. This part is very important to me. Usually, in many homes, when someone gets back from work or school, the first thing they touch isn't their family or their food, it's their phone. You see it everywhere. Dad on the sofa scrolling, mom at the table scrolling, kids on the floor scrolling. One living room, but 4 separate worlds.
Yeah. You probably see this in your own life or at your friends' houses. When I noticed this in my own life, on my no-phone day, something small but significant happened. I walked in, my hand went to my pocket, but there was nothing there.
So, what did you do instead?
I actually sat down and really looked at my family. My cousin was sketching, my aunt was preparing dinner. We actually started talking about simple things. How was your day? What did you do? Show me your drawing.
That sounds lovely. And I realize there's a strange contradiction here.
A contradiction is when two things don't match up, like being connected yet lonely.
Precisely. My phone connects me to people miles away, but sometimes it disconnects me from the people standing right in front of me.
That realization stings a bit because it's so accurate.
It really is. And maybe you feel this too. You're in the same room as someone you love, but you're both living in separate phone worlds. On a no-phone day, that dynamic changes. Suddenly, eyes meet eyes, not screens.
And for me, things really shifted later that evening. Something quite interesting happened.
Oh, do tell.
A friend asked me, "So, how's your day without the phone going?"
And how did you respond? Did you try to play it cool?
At first, I was tempted to play it safe and just say, "Oh, it's fine, just a bit different."
Play it safe, meaning you choose the easy, surface-level answer instead of being deep and honest?
Exactly. But this time, I paused for a moment.
And you chose to say something more authentic.
Yeah, I said, "Honestly, it's tough. I feel restless. I keep reaching for a device that isn't there. But I also feel more present than I have in a long time."
That's a major shift. When you stop playing it safe with your responses, you start to form deeper connections.
I felt that too. Later that night, I had a much longer conversation with someone in my family.
Tell us about it.
We were just sitting at the table with some tea, no phones in sight, and I finally poured my heart out about how exhausted I felt from always being reachable online.
To pour your heart out means you share your true feelings and don't hide anything, right?
Yes, I told them about the pressure I feel to reply to messages instantly, to be funny in group chats, and to make my life look perfect online.
And what was their reaction?
They just said, I feel exactly the same way. We laughed, we almost cried. It was simple, but very deep.
It just goes to show, sometimes one honest conversation without phones is more powerful than 100 digital messages.
So after that day, I began to see my phone through a different lens.
Yeah? How did your perspective change?
I realized how tightly I was holding on to it.
To hold on to something means you're reluctant to let it go, even if it's not always beneficial for you?
Exactly. My phone was like a security blanket. I reached for it whenever I was bored, unhappy, or nervous about everything.
And on your no-phone day, that blanket was gone.
Right. At first, I felt cold without it, but then I noticed something else.
What was that?
I started to wake up to how loud my phone was in my life.
Wake up to something, meaning you finally recognize a truth that was there all along?
Yes, I woke up to the fact that my mind was always half immersed in the screen, even when I was with people or out in nature. A part of me was always living in the phone world.
That's a profound realization. And on a no-phone day, you might have your own version of that. Maybe you wake up to how often you check the time, or how many times you open apps for no reason, or how much more present your family feels.
And it doesn't mean you have to delete everything and live in a cave. We aren't here to give you strict rules.
Right. It just means you have the power to choose. You can notice your habits and change small things.
Exactly. Maybe for you, the first step is simple. No phones at the breakfast table, or keeping the phone out of the bedroom, or one evening a week on airplane mode.
You can try your own mini no-phone day, or even just a few hours, and see what happens. Notice your feelings. Notice what is difficult. Notice what is refreshing.
And perhaps, bit by bit, you'll start to write a new story with your phone, instead of letting the phone write your story for you. You might even discover that the best parts of your day aren't on the screen. They're right in front of you.
Exactly. And before we wrap up, let's slow down and review some of the strong vocabulary we used today. It's time for our word tour. 10 words and phrases from this episode with clear meanings and simple examples.
You can just listen or repeat them after us if you like. No pressure at all. Let's begin.
Word number 1, obsessed. When you are obsessed, your brain cannot stop thinking about something. It's always on your mind. For example, in the morning, I was obsessed with checking my notifications. Or, my brother is obsessed with that new game. He talks about nothing else. Repeat, obsessed.
Next is exaggerate. When you exaggerate, you make something sound bigger or more dramatic than the truth to emphasize a feeling. For example, sometimes I say I checked my phone 1,000 times. I exaggerate, but that's how it feels. Or, he exaggerated the size of the fish he caught. Repeat, exaggerate.
Now a feeling word, intense. When something is intense, it is very strong and powerful, not mild. For example, on my no-phone day, the morning silence felt intense. Or, the heat today is so intense that I can't go outside. Repeat, intense.
Next is vulnerable. When you feel vulnerable, you feel open and easy to hurt. Your true feelings are exposed. For example, walking without my phone made me feel vulnerable, like I had no shield. Or, it's okay to feel vulnerable when you share your dreams with others. Repeat, vulnerable.
Now a concept word, contradiction. A contradiction is when two things don't match or agree with each other. For example, it's a contradiction that phones connect us, yet make us feel more isolated. Or, his words and his actions are a complete contradiction. Repeat, contradiction.
Now a phrase, play it safe. When you play it safe, you choose the easiest, least risky option. For example,
When people ask how I am, I usually play it safe and say I'm fine. Or, he played it safe in the exam and only answered the questions he was sure about. Repeat, play it safe.
Next phrase, get in your own way. When you get in your own way, you are the one stopping yourself because of your habits or fears. For example, I wanted to finish my book, but my phone habit got in my own way. Or, don't get in your own way by thinking you aren't good enough. Repeat, get in your own way.
Now, an emotional expression. Pour your heart out. When you pour your heart out, you share all your deepest feelings and don't hold back. For example, without any digital distractions, he poured his heart out about his stress. Or, she poured her heart out to her best friend after the breakup. Repeat, pour your heart out.
Next, hold on to something. When you hold on to something, you're reluctant to let it go, even if it's not helpful anymore. For example, I was holding on to my phone like it was a life jacket. Or, it's time to stop holding on to past mistakes. Repeat, hold on to.
And our final phrase, wake up to something. When you wake up to something, you finally recognize a truth that was always there. For example, after a day without technology, I woke up to how much time I was wasting. Or, he finally woke up to the fact that he needed a vacation. Repeat, wake up to.
So, those were our 10 items for today's word tour. Don't worry about mastering them all right now. Just pick one or two that you like and try to use them this week.
You can even write a sentence in the comments using one of these phrases. And remember, you can always return to this episode, listen again, and wake up to even more details.
Each time you listen, your brain will pick up a new word, a new nuance, or a new feeling. If today's talk made you reflect on your own habits, that's already a win. No pressure, just awareness.
You're doing an amazing job just by being here and learning English with us. We're really proud of your progress.
All right, it's time for you to go and enjoy your real life now. Maybe with your phone just a little bit further away than usual.
Exactly. This is Kai.
And this is Luna. You've been listening to the English Talk with Luna podcast. Goodbye.
Your progress doesn't end here. To keep advancing your skills, click on the next video or explore the other episodes we've picked for you.